There has been a lot of talk out there in the indie comic scene about where creators should stand on this recent debate of quality versus quantity. There's a group of creators and fans out there that believe that quality is what will set you apart from the rest, while there is another group of creators and fans out there that say that quantity is the best way to go. Now, just to understand this debate a little bit, I think it's important to know what these terms mean, or at least what they're referring to. Now, quality refers to the caliber of the art that is executed properly, with great attention to things like anatomy, perspective, detail, rendering, and things of that nature. These things are usually considered high quality art. With comics being a visual medium, it's important to have great visuals to attract the reader and especially potential backers. Something unique about high quality art, and something interesting also because it comes at a detriment to the argument in favor of high quality art, is the amount of time it takes to produce it. While great art can be found anywhere, high quality artwork in the comics world is oftentimes art that requires more time to produce. Now, quantity, on the other hand, refers to books that are put out on a regular basis and that are put out on time. Lateness, for example, is a big no-no for those fans that argue in favor of quantity. Their argument is that creators should be able to put out a book in a respectable amount of time. They argue that someone who's ambitious and driven, with a great sense of professionalism and work ethic, can most definitely put in the work and put out a good quality book on a regular basis. They state that there are creators out there that do this consistently, yet they don't mention any specific examples. And that's because there aren't any. There is no creator out there in the indie space that puts out 3 or 4 books a year on a consistent basis. I repeat, there is no creator out there in the indie space that puts out 3 or 4 books a year on a consistent basis. Now, while you're sitting there thinking whether this statement is true or not, let me tell you what the problem is. The problem will always come to is with the word creator, because that word gets tossed around a lot and no one knows exactly what to make of it. A creator can be anyone in the creative process. It can be the writer or the artist. When we're debating this quality versus quantity argument, we need to clearly define who's doing what. As an artist and a creator myself, I measure creators up to the same expectations that I would have for myself. And as an artist, I define a creator as someone who writes or draws a comic, who has a visible YouTube appearance, is active on social media, promotes their comic as well as the comic of others, launches a campaign, promotes their campaign as well as the campaign of others, closes the campaign, and then fulfills the campaign. Now that is a lot to do, and no one in the indie scene does this and puts out 3 or 4 books a year regularly. No one. There are some that do some of these tasks, but not all of them, because it is a lot to get done. And please, by no means at all am I trying to say that I do these things while others don't. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that if we properly define these terms, we'll be able to clearly identify who's doing what in the indie scene and then come to our conclusions appropriately. Now, in this vast world of indie comics where everyone and their mama is putting out a book, you have to ask yourself, how do I stand out from the crowd? How can I get people to care more about my book than the other guy's book? Now, in my humble opinion, I believe that quality is the key to standing out from that crowd of creators, and one of the key factors in determining whether your book is going to be successful or not. Now, while it is completely understandable to determine whether or not you're going to back a book on the concern if it will be delivered on time, I do believe it's not a good reason to sacrifice quality. I repeat, it's not a good reason to sacrifice quality. Comics, being a visual medium, require great visuals. Great visuals usually require some time, and that often brings delays in production of the comic. But despite all that, I firmly believe that the wait will be worth it. While many may disagree, there is some evidence of this notion out there in the indie comic scene and in comics in general. There are artists like David Finch, Mark Silvestri, Dale Keown, John Malin, Ethan Van Sciver, Emerald Presti, Kenneth Rocafort, and many other that are top tier artists who put out some of the most amazing comic art ever seen. And their success in great part lies with the quality of their work. Creators that are coming into this indie comic space must really pay close attention to what these creators are doing, and they must either draw at this level, draw very close to it, or at least hire someone who draws that well if you wish to stand out among the rest. And now here's where I come in. My name is Elliot Rodriguez, and I'm a comic book artist, and I'm also going to be a creator soon as I embark on this journey of creating my first comic. My comic is called Ominous, and while I'm far from being a top tier artist, I do have the firm intention of delivering my best comic art in my own comic book. I'm on, as you can probably tell from the video, I'm on the quality aspect of the argument, on the quality side of the argument, and drawing to the best of my ability is something that I'll strive to do always, and something that I'll always advocate for whenever this discussion pops up. So hopefully my comic Ominous and the artwork that you're seeing in the video right now will convince you to follow me on my artistic journey and support the projects and the comics that I work on along the way. But I understand that not everyone thinks in the same way, and I can definitely respect that also. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Where do you stand on the topic? What side of the fence are you arguing for? Let me know in the comments below, and before you leave, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications. I put out videos every Thursday at noon. So you guys take care, have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.